Good
Chapter
afternoon.
3 lang po yung naka-assign sa'min.
Medyo
Good afternoon, sir.
yeah, oo, Mr. Digang.
Sir, kung aabutin po, baka po pwede po, kaya pa po yung chapter 4. Naka-ready na rin po yung report
Sige,
namin.
oo, paspasan na lang natin, no? Kasi marami
Sige po.
tayong mga na-miss na mga scheduled online class natin, ha? Oo. Dalawa, pilitin natin dalawa. Miss Opiana, siguro po, pwede na. Anytime you are ready, pwede na po tayong mag-start ng ating ano. So,
Okay po, ipe-present lang po ni Mr. Rivera po.
pinopost niyo yan sa ano niya, no? Sa Google Classroom, yung inyong, yan yung inyong report, no? Sige, Mr. Rivera. Report number 3. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. So for our report, we will discuss Chapter 3, Contemporary Business Environment and Strategic Focus of Cost Management. Next slide po. The expected learning outcomes. Number 1, describe the more recent changes in contemporary business environment, such as the following. Next, explain the strategic focus of cost management. Number 3, describe the relationship between cost management and the accounting systems. And number 4, explain the concept of integrative framework on how the accounting system is used in the firm's organizational architecture. Next slide po. So, di ba, the term contemporary, we usually associate it with the word current. So, yung contemporary, nag-originate siya sa medieval Latin term, contemporarius, meaning con, together with, plus tempus or tempor, meaning time. So, pag pinagsama yung dalawa, together with time. So, contemporary, yung pinaka-basic meaning niya is transpiring or occurring at the present time or belonging to the present. So, 'di ba, meron tayong kasabihan na change is the only constant thing in this world. And those changes constitute our present situations. So basically, what makes something contemporary are the changes that happens in a particular time. So, ayun nga, yung example nito, yung mga nakikita natin ngayon na changes in business environment. Una, an increase in global competition. Global competition is basically a form of international competition between enterprise in one country and their counterpart entities that has the same nature. Example, Jollibee versus McDo. So, yung nag-fuel ng global competition is yung globalization. Globalization, yun yung process of interaction and integration among people, companies, government worldwide. So, through globalization, entities from different culture with different geological position could connect or do transactions and achieve objectives together and compete. So basically, once na yung business, nag-enter siya ng global competition, there is a wide range of opportunities such as larger scope of customers, investors, and it could engender you a prominent reputation. However, at the same time, it could also pose wider or larger number of threats since you'll be dealing with a huge and complex operations. So sa pangalawa, advances in manufacturing technology. So hindi naman talaga natin madi-deny na yung technology ay um, nagbi-bring ng convenience sa atin, especially sa business. And people become innovative to achieve the greatest possible convenience of life. So example na nga lang is yung ating manufacturing technology. So manufacturing technology is the application of tools and processes developed through scientific, industrial, and engineering advances to improve the efficiency, quality, and productivity of operations. So, di ba, sa manufacturing, siya yung most common or isa sa most common, biggest type of business. So, manufacturing has complex procedures or process, di ba, since we are transforming raw materials into something or into goods na bibilhin ng tao. So, for the next change, advances in information technologies, the internet, and e-commerce. So the convenience of technology can't be rejected by the current business. It is one of the factors that makes them contemporary, especially during pandemic nga. As we all know, it is very prevalent that business use internet for their official websites to promote for promotion, for hiring, or human resource purposes, as well as for data management purposes. E-commerce has been ascending nowadays also. Yung example nga nun is yung Shopee, Lazada, Amazon, and online or live Facebook selling. Di ba dati kasi wala naman tayong luxury para gawin yung mga ganito, yung e-commerce or para makapag-perform ng e-commerce dahil hindi pa ganon kalawak or hindi pa ganon kalaki yung feature na sakop ng technology natin. And next is a greater focus on the customer. So, valued na kung ano yung trend sa customer. So, at tapos, kung pag nalaman ng business kung ano yung trend sa mga customer, ayun yung karaniwang ino-offer nila, syempre para kumita sila. So, customer service also improved through technology, di ba? Sa mga websites, nakikita natin yung email, saka yung mga contact numbers na pwede nating uh, i-reach kapag meron tayong gustong itanong or i-inquire about a particular business. And also, through conducting surveys, mas napapakinggan yung customers' perspectives. So, di ba, kasi once na parang no customer equals no transaction. Tapos, mag-equal din siya to failure, mag-equal siya sa failure to achieve the business objectives nga. Since, ayun, customer is one of the main element para magkaroon ng transaction or operation ang isang business at mapalago niya nga ito. Next, new forms of management organization. So, it refers to the art of getting together on a common platform to make them work towards a common predefined goal. Different organizational ways and techniques have emerged to meet the objectives of the business efficiently, cost-effective, and conveniently. For the next changes in the social, political, and cultural environment of business. So yung social, ito yung standard of living, taste, preference, and educational level of the people living within a society. So maapektuhan yung business once na nagkaroon ng pagbabago doon since dahil nga yung business is operating inside a society. Yung political, basically, these are the regulations and policies, press freedom, and the existing legislation. And last, the cultural is the language, norms, religions, ethics, and values. So ito yung, aside from dun sa mga regulations and policies na sakop ng political side, yung cultural field is ito rin yung kung saan dapat mag-conform yung business para umayon yung kanilang operations or transactions sa kung paano nagwo-work yung society or yung paligid nila or yung environment. Next po. Next slide. Okay, so adapting management accounting system to better meet management's needs for information is crucial to an organization's survival when competing in global markets. Within a global market kasi, there are numerous global competitors that has access to it. So, domestic markets faces a great challenge nowadays, especially if they can't yield a certain competency that global market requires or standardized. Hence, aside from making and adapting changes for improvement sa part ng marketing or attracting outside players, examples nga yung pag-observe ng customers' tastes, demands, and behavior. Yung mga contemporary businesses din ngayon, yung nature nila, nag-adapt sila para i-improve yung kanilang management. or yung changes in practices such as performing and developing a management accounting system. Next slide po. So ano nga ba yung management accounting or managerial accounting na tinatawag? So managerial accounting is the practice of identifying, measuring, analyzing, interpreting, and communicating financial information to managers for the pursuit of an organization's goal. So 'di ba, kung natatandaan natin yung difference ng management accounting at ng financial accounting, yung management accounting more on for internal purposes siya para magamit ng management in making key business decisions, while the financial accounting is for external purposes na addressed sa iba't ibang external users din. So ang karaniwan pang difference nung dalawa is yung management accounting is not dictated by an official accounting standards, unlike na yung financial accounting na meron tayo, di ba, yung GAAP, yung generally accepted accounting principles. Kasi yung financial accounting for public consumption siya, while yung management accounting nga ay more on private consumption, kasi within the management or within the entity lang yung pinakasakop niya or yung pinaka-goal niya na target. Next is because management accounting does not have an official accounting standard, because presentation of data can be modified to meet the specific needs of its end users. So management accountants can decide which ways could be convenient, cost-effective, efficient as long as accurate at masasatisfy niya yung kanyang user. So next slide po. In today's automated environment, management accountants use their management control systems to support and reinforce manufacturing and other operating strategies. So, yung management accounting kasi, it is more of an influencing role rather than just an informing role. So basically, it is active more than passive. So it is not only done for a mere purpose of reporting or storytelling of business numbers and values. It intends to influence the management regarding the future actions it should take from the output of its process to achieve the organization's goal, hence to achieve success. Next slide po. Next slide po, Mr. Rivera. Ayan, thank you. So, the first bullet says, the change in the business environment in at least the last 2 decades where bumalik Timo sa dun sa previous slide. Pero, pa-next po ulit. Hello po. Pa-next slide po. Ayan. So to continue, the change in the business environment in at least the last 2 decades where organizations have to transform themselves to become more competitive have profound effect in the practice of management accounting. Of particular importance are the changes in business, especially the increase in global competition and the changes in the Nag-next slide ulit, Timo. Pabalik dun sa previous slide. Okay, so nagkakaroon po ata ng technical problem si Mr. Rivera. So, ayan. Of particular importance are the changes in business, especially the increase in global competition and the changes in management techniques that have created the need for a new strategic approach to management and to cost management. So it is evident that the contemporary business environment is very competitive compared to what it used to be before. And as it undergo metamorphosis over the period of time, yung importance ng management at ng cost management are being highlighted or emphasized through the development of a variety of strategies, techniques, and approach. And as new ways develop and become widely effective among organizations and entities, once na na-apply na nila nga itong mga strategies na na-adapt nila, it will create a new standard of competitiveness. Hence, a new environment of contemporary business will commence. So that's it for my report. To further elaborate and discuss the scope of contemporary business environment, Mr. Rosero will now take the virtual floor. Thank you po.
Yes, hello. Next slide po. Yes, the global business environment. So, when we say global business environment, most of us here siguro naman would think that or associate it with the international market or how businesses interact in a global or macro scale. As part of the newer generation, siguro most of us here is aware of the contemporary business environment wherein due to the advent of globalization, parang mas madali na lang and mas connected ang customers to the local and foreign businesses. Take for example, if you have noticed, di ba, when you buy something from Shopee or Lazada or other e-commerce platform, items would be shipped from, there are items that would be shipped from foreign origin. Most often, we will see that in parcels, as an example, would be shipped from sorting facilities in China's or other origin. The embrace of globalization changes businesses practices of firms as the international environment or the international market grow. The growth in the international market and trade development is the key that drive to extensive changes in the contemporary business environment. As mentioned earlier nga, because because now more than ever foreign and local firms are more connected and accessible, there is a change in the development of global business market. Both profit and non-profit organizations are affected by the rapid growth of economic independence and increased competition. Siyempre, if malaki or lalaki yung market or yung market environment and the opportunity for business, more often than not, lalaki rin yung number and intensity of competition. The global business environment is very competitive and firms need cost management to sustain competitiveness. Yes, this is true. Because of the inherent nature of global business environment, there's a natural occurrence of fierce competition. Businesses that fail to adapt would inevitably be left behind. Think of it as an arms race for businesses of different country and origin. Para siyang free for all war to establish dominance and foothold within the market and gain customer. Commonly, firms with better cost management who are able to produce low cost, higher quality products would be able to dominate the market and survive the fierce competition. Next slide po. Next, we will proceed to the advancement in manufacturing technology. Because of the aforementioned changes through the increase in the market competition, kailangan ng mga businesses or firms a way to level up their output in order to maintain an edge against the competitors or competition. But the question is how? Paano or how can a business form an edge against its competition? So one way kung paano ito gagawin is through the utilization of the advancement in the manufacturing technologies. Firms adopt new manufacturing technologies to remain competitive in the face of increased global competition. The advancement in manufacturing technologies such as better, faster, and more efficient machineries and techniques would of course lead to a relative increase in the rate of production as well as decrease in the associated costs. The advancements of the manufacturing technology allow firms to operate effectively and efficiently. Now, adopt methods that produce significant cost and quality improvement using quality teams and statistical quality control. Many firms adopt methods applied in manufacturing businesses to produce significant improvement. This include just-in-time inventory method to reduce cost and waste of raw materials, as well as the other one is the speed to market, the ability to produce products and services faster than its competitors or competition. With the use of advancements in manufacturing technology, companies gains an edge against its competitor. Next slide po. Now we proceed to the advances in information technology. So, Advances in the information technology. Aside from the advances in manufacturing technology, businesses in modern firms in modern business era also utilize the use of contemporary information technology to increase its edge against its competitors. The usage of information technology and the internet and e-commerce is a fundamental business change. Because of the increase of the usage of internet for business data processing and communication and sales, nagkakaroon ng emphasis on the usage of internet on the new economic environment for businesses and firms' activity. New economy is manifested in the rapid growth of internet-based firms such as Amazon, eBay, and Trade. Now, most commonly nakikita naman natin dito or nakikita natin in a new or in the contemporary era, marami ng businesses that utilizes these e-commerce platforms in order to provide their services or products to its customers. Next slide po. And lastly, we have the greater focus on customers. Because of the competition nga, as mentioned earlier, in a global scale, nagkakaroon ng shift in the business priorities. So, if noong una the business prioritize quantity over quality, nowadays businesses put more emphasis on and focus on the preference and experiences of the customers. Key changes in increased customer demand for product functionality and quality, producing value for customer from low-cost production of large quantities to quality services, faster delivery, and ability to respond to the desire of the customer. This is especially emphasized in the competing businesses with virtually the same product output. At the end of the day, the success and failure of a business hinges on the customers. Now, as a customer's preference shift from quantity, as mentioned now, from quantity to quality, the firm should also be able to adapt. So from the company or the firms would change its focus from low-cost production of larger quantities to a quality service, faster delivery, and ability to respond to the desire of the customer. Next slide po. Now, as a continuation, value of a product or service to the customer is affected by diverse attributes such as product price, quality, functionality, user-friendly, customer service, warranty, and maintenance. By managing activities that will increase a customer's value, the firm can establish a competitive advantage by creating better customer value for the same or lower cost than its competitor. Cost information plays an important part in the process called strategic cost management. Now, generally firm choose two or a strategic position corresponding to one of the two general strategies. Now, these strategies are as follow: the firm's strategic position. So, first we have the cost leadership, and second we have the superior product through differentiation. So that would be all for my report, and thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Cal Santos, and I will be reporting this section, New Forms of Management Organization. So, management organization has changed in response to the changes in marketing and manufacturing. Dahil nga sa pag-iiba, mas nag-focus na 'di ba sa customer satisfaction and value. So, yung emphasis nag-shift then from financial and profit-based measures of performance at naging customer-related na tayo, naging customer-centered, non-financial performance measures such as quality, time to delivery, and service. Similarly, the hierarchical command and control type of organization ay napapalitan na ngayon ng more flexible organizational form that encourages teamwork and coordination among business functions. So in response to these changes, cost management practices are also changing to include reports that are useful to cross-functional teams of managers. These reports reflect the multinational roles of these teams and include a variety of operating and financial information such as product quality, unit cost, customer satisfaction, and production bottlenecks. So the changes in management, organization, and marketing in the environment of business are summarized in these figures. So next slide. So this is the comparison of prior and contemporary business environments. According to management organization, so the type of information recorded and reported in prior business environment is almost exclusively financial data. Because, 'di ba, as I've said kanina, dati yung mga previous business environments is focus talaga sa financial measures, financial performance. So ngayon sa contemporary business environment, hindi na lang financial data, financial and operating data, and also the firm's strategic success factors. Sa management organizational structure naman, dati hierarchical, command and control. So ngayon, network-based organization forms, nagpo-focus na din ngayon sa teamwork focus. Employee has more responsibility and control. Dati, parang wala masyadong responsibility, di ba? Parang masyadong umaasa lang sa mga nasa high levels. Ngayon, lahat ng each sector meron na talagang responsibility na ginagawa. So ngayon, coaching rather than command and control. Sa management focus naman, dati ang emphasis ay nasa short-term performance, measures and compensation, concern for sustaining the current stock price, short tenure, and high mobility of top managers. Ngayon, ang emphasis na natin ay nasa long-term, focus on critical success factors, commitment to the long-term success of the firm, including adding and shareholder value. So next slide, sa sector naman na manufacturing. So dati ang basis of compensation is standardization and economies of scale. Ngayon, ang basis ng compensation is quality, functionality, and customer satisfaction. So as I've said before, ang focus na nga ngayon ng contemporary business environments is customer satisfaction. Mas more customer-centered na tayo compared dati na profit-based. So manufacturing process, dati high volume, long production, around significant levels of in-process and finished inventory. So yun nga, quantity over quality dati. Basta kahit anong mangyari sa manufacturing, dapat gumawa kayo ng marami para mas marami tayong kikitain. Ganun dati. Pero ngayon, low volume, short production runs, focus on reducing inventory levels and other non-value added activities and costs. Ngayon, mas pinagtutuunan na ma-minimize yung mga unnecessary costs na hindi naman talaga kailangan. So manufacturing technology, dati assembly line automation, isolated technology applications, but ngayon mas advanced na tayo. We have robotics, flexible manufacturing systems, 'di ba? Meron din nga tayong mga accounting systems ngayon, accounting program na magagamit. Ngayon may integrated technology applications na tayo connected by networks. So dati ang required labor skills are machine-based and low-level skills. So ngayon, ang mga employees, ang mga hinahanap ng mga competencies is dapat individually and team-based, mayroon kang high-level skills. Yan. On emphasis on quality, dati on manufacturing, hindi nga masyadong pinapansin yung quality, kahit anong maraming defects dyan, di ba? Dati, acceptance of a normal or usual amount of waste, okay lang. Pero ngayon, ang goal ng mga business environments, ang goal natin ay zero defects. Next slide. We will now go on to the marketing sector of the company naman or business. So sa products, relatively few variations, long product life cycles dati. But ngayon, large number of variations, short product of life cycles. Di ba? Mas marami na tayong variations ngayon sa mga products sa marketing. So sa markets, dati largely domestic, but now ngayon, di ba? Ang dali-dali na maka-reach ng global market ngayon dahil sa mga available platforms na meron. Even the online, pwede kang makapagbenta kung saan, di ba? Kasi sobrang dali na talaga ngayon ng marketing because of the social medias and other available platforms. So next slide. We will now go on to the changes in the social, political, and cultural environment of business. Significant changes have taken place in the social, political, and cultural environments that affect business. Although the nature and extent of these changes vary a great deal from country to country, They include a more ethically and racially diverse workforce, a renewed sense of ethical responsibility among managers and employees, and an increased deregulation of business by the national government. So ngayon nga, 'di ba, we now have a more ethically and racially diverse workforce, and ngayon, mas more on control na tayo, wala nang dun na nga sa changes in political environment, 'di ba? Wala na masyadong control, mas nagkaroon ng freedom yung mga businesses dun sa mga na magtayo ng kanilang mga businesses. So, dati kasi sobrang sobrang ano, 'di ba? Sobrang control talaga ng government yung mga businesses nga dati. But ngayon, mas nagkaroon na ng freedom. So, nag-increase yung deregulation ngayon. So, the new business environment requires firms to be flexible and adaptable and to place greater responsibility in the hands of a more highly skilled workforce. Additionally, the changes tend to focus the firm factors outside the production of its product or provision of its service to the ultimate consumer and the global society in which the customer lives. So after looking at these figures and the tables, we can infer that over the past years, decades, and centuries, as the world is continuously evolving, the business environments are developing into much better setup. A business environment that is just not driven by profits, but centered on the teamwork and camaraderie of the employees to achieve the highest possible level of customer satisfaction. That would be all. That would be the end of my report. And the next topic would be reported by Mr. Gino Olabre. Thank you, everyone.
So yan po, good afternoon po. Competitive field incorporates the emerging and expected change in the contemporary environment of business into its business planning and practices. This field is customer-driven, uses advances manufacturing technology when appropriate anticipates the effects of changes in regulatory policy and customer taste and recognizes its complex social, political, and cultural environment. So these are the stages of strategic focus of cost management. Stage 1, cost management systems are based on transaction reporting data. So stage 1, more on generating transactional reports only for us to comply sa mga government agencies. But as we operate the business, they develop. Kaya the stage 2, as they develop into the second stage, cost management system focus on external financial reporting. The objective is reliable financial reports. Accordingly, the usefulness for cost management is limited. Dito sa stage 2, not given much attention those financial data on the financial reports that we have. Ang tingin nila sa financial data na yun is that the result of the operation and compliance purposes. Example, the BIR or the government is asking for how much is the your net income, and they provided the figure, and nagbayad na tayo ng tax. Okay na yun sa kanila. And in the long run, habang lumalaki at lumalago yung negosyo, the manager thinks the net income is the measure of the growth of the company. Stage 3. Cost management system track key operating data and develop more accurate and relevant cost information for decision making. Cost management information is developed. So dito sa stage 3, we can now use this income or figure to generate other information for us to determine whether it will increase or it will be affected by the other factors. For example, paano ba natin nakakompute yung net income? Sales minus expense equals net income. So if you wanted to increase net income, you will simply increase our sales, and the other way is to decrease the cost and expense. So sa stage 4, strategically relevant cost management information is an integral part of the system. So dito sa stage ko, think of strategy that can contribute the increase. Next slide. Cost management and accounting system. Cost management are approaches and activities of managers in a short run and long run planning and control decision that increase value for customers and lower cost of products and services. Cost management, the primary focus is to increase the value when you apply the cost management information system. Accounting system are organized offset manual, computerized accounting methods, procedures, and controls established to gather, record, classify, analyze, summarize, interpret, and present accurate and timely financial data for management decisions. So, sa accounting system is a set of manual and methods of procedures and controls to establish, gather records, classify, and analyze for your financial purpose. So, for the next report, integrative framework, Miss Timothy Rivera will present.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Timothy Rivera, and I've been tackling about integrative framework. Integrative framework, it only explains changes in cost management system. Cost management system undergoes development from accounting system, yung pag-analyze, pag-gather ng data, or yung paggagawa ng report, which is yung nai-report nga ni Mr. Olabre, hanggang sa ma-focus sa customer's value that is under the cost management system. So business strategy, I think most of us naman may idea sa meaning ng strategy. So strategy is the plan to achieve the mission, vision, and objectives of the business. So yung business strategy, magbabago lang siya if may pagbabago dun sa market condition tsaka dun sa technology innovation. Sa sa asset structure, from current asset to shifting to non-current asset, investing more on raw machinery, system, and technologies. Nagkakaroon na ng pagbabago. Sa susunod naman is yung customers base. Sa customers base naman, magkakaroon siya ng pagbabago if yung kinikater mong customer or yung tinatarget mong customer is na-identify mo na yung want ng customer, kung naka-base ba sila sa low cost, sa quality, or sa brand ng product. So yung paglalabas mo ng product is nakadepende sa sa gusto ng customer. So nabago na diyan yung business strategy kasi merong pagbabago sa market condition tsaka sa technology innovation. If that will happen na nagkaroon ng changes sa business strategy, magkakaroon din ng changes sa accounting system, decision right partitioning, performance reward, and punishment system. For example, connected pa rin yung example ko kanina dun sa business strategy tsaka sa organizational architecture. If there are changes in production, nagkakaroon ng mas maraming machineries or robotics. So yung pag-gather ng cost, magbabago din kasi meron ng mga system, meron din mga machineries. So ang question is, paano babaguhin yung product cost? If you guys remember sa cost accounting yung subject natin nung first year, the composition of product cost, labor overhead, and materials. So kung nag-shift from labor intensive to more on machineries, hindi nagiging applicable yung based on labor. It's more on based on machine use na kasi kakaunti lang yung nagiging inputs ng labor. Kasi nga more on machineries na lang. So maybe babaguhin na yung way ng pagko-compute, predetermine overhead rate instead of basing it to the labor. It will base on machine hours, machine usage, and machine output. So magkakaroon na ng changes on how you create accounting data or accounting information. With that, there will be changes in accounting system. in effects, there will also changes in incentive and action and of course sa firm value. So pinaparealize natin itong integrative framework na um, integrative framework make us realize that there will be only changes in accounting system if there are changes in marketing condition and technology innovation. So itong mga naka-under sa business strategy sa organizational architecture, hindi lang siya basta-basta nagbabago, kundi meron siyang mga drivers kung tawagan, and those drivers are market condition and technology innovation. That would be all. Thank you po.
Okay, that completes your report, group 3. So you are 5 in the group. Okay, masyado kayo madami, no? Reserve na lang natin yung mga some questioning and reflection on the topic of contemporary business environment and strategic focus of cost management. Ang isa lang na message nito is that from the traditional approach in management accounting, dapat ngayon iba na yung konsepto natin. Mabilis, no? May incorporation ito ng TQM, Total Quality Management. Hindi na pwede yung mass production dito. Dapat it's more of level up, value, quality of the product and services you offer to the market. Kasi borderless na tayo. Kung before we are limited within a certain area or geographical area. Ngayon, borderless na tayo. Anyone can transact business outside of the Philippines. Parang ganon. So tayo, especially you who will be future accountant or management accountants, okay? Prospective management accountants, dapat naka-ready tayo. Maging very competitive against our neighbors, no, yung mga accountant in the neighboring country. So since we are pressed for time, I'll be asking the next group to present their topic. Mr. Sino bang Lilang?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Lilang, okay. Pwede tayo mag-present ng ating ng group niyo. Ang topic is about developing a competitive strategy, right? Chapter 4. We will finish up to chapter 10 before we will have our prelim exam. So by next meeting on Thursday, we will have 2 reporting group. Okay? Sige, Mr. Lila.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So it's
yes,
Mangulabnan. Okay, palakas lang ng audio, Miss Mangulabnan.
Yes po. Good afternoon, everyone. We are Group 3. And today we are here to discuss Chapter 4, Developing a Competitive Strategy and Contemporary Cost Management Techniques. Next slide po. The other reporters are Saijel Landicho, Elizarin Manimtim, Shay Ann Marcelino, and Dexter Lilang.
Okay. Mga K-pop. Okay.
Thank you, Angela. Our objectives for the day. After studying this chapter, we should be able to understand the basic approach of how a firm's competitive strategy is explained. Number 2, explain the strategic measures of success, financial and non-financial factors. Number 3, describe the critical success factors in a business firm and how they can be measured. Number 4, explain the consequences of lack of strategic information. Number 5, describe the 2 basic competitive strategies, namely the cost leadership and cost differentiation. And number 6, please. Number 6, understand and describe the contemporary cost management techniques such as TQM, just-in-time production system, process reengineering, benchmarking, mass customization, balanced scorecard, activity-based costing and activity-based management, theory of constraints, life cycle costing, target costing, computer-aided design and computer manufacturing, automation, e-commerce, and the value chain. Those things will be discussed in the latter part.
Good afternoon po. Developing a competitive strategy. A strategy is a set of policies, procedures, and approaches to business that produce long-term success. Finding a strategy begins with determining the purpose and long-range direction, or in other words, the mission of the company. The mission is developed into specific performance objectives which are then implemented by specific corporate or company strategies, that is, specific actions to achieve the objectives that will fulfill the mission. Um, Developing a competitive strategy start with finding and planning the revenue, cost, and capital needs to identify the limits for expense budgets on an annual basis. And there are steps to make the process more objective and fruitful in developing a competitive strategy. First is consider your business situation. Second, research your target markets and competitive environment. Third, identify current or potential sources of competitive advantage. Fourth, validate your competitive strategy. And the last one is develop an implementation plan. Next slide po. Um, Strategy specifies how an organization matches its own capabilities with the opportunities in the marketplace to accomplish its objectives. In other words, strategy describes how a compete will compete and the opportunities its employee should seek and pursue. Companies follow one of the two broad strategies. First is cost leadership strategy. In business strategy, cost, cost leadership is establishing a competitive advantage by having the lowest cost of operation in the industry. Some companies, such as Jollibee and Pure Gold, compete on the leadership strategy. It is basis of providing a quality product or services at low prices. And ito pong leadership strategy is ano po, kadalasang ginagamit ng mga companies. And next po is product differentiation strategy. Product differentiation is a marketing strategy designed to distinguish a company's products or services from the competition. Other companies such as Robinson's Department Store and Five-Star Hotel in Manila compete on their ability to offer unique products or services that are often priced higher than the products or services of competitors. Next slide po.
Yan is, good afternoon po.
Um, Deciding between these strategies is a big part of what managers do. Management accountants work with managers in formulating strategy by providing information about the sources of competitive advantages. Next po. Next is the management accountant also helps formulate a strategy by answering questions such as who are our most important customers? The most valuable customers, who are the most profitable for a company. These customers buy more or higher value products than the other customer. Next is how sensitive are their purchases to price, quality, and service. Price, quality, and service varies a lot. It's influenced by the kind of goods and services you sell, the kind of customer you have, and the wider market factors such as social and economic trends. Next is who are who are our most important suppliers? Reliable suppliers that deliver the right goods or services on time. Next is what substitute products exist in the marketplace and how they differ from our product in terms of price and quality. Um, those goods that can be consumed in place or other goods are called substitute goods. Next is Is the industry demand growing or shrinking? And the last one is there overcapacity? That's all po. Next reporter.
Good afternoon po. So, strategic measures of success. Firms use cost management to support their strategic goals. The strategic cost management system develops strategic information including both financial and non-financial position. So the reason why firms use cost management is hindi lang kasi ito restricted to controlling cost, but extend its scope to the use of information, financial or non-financial, for strategic decision-making purposes by the management, and syempre to boost a company's strategic position. So strategic financial and non-financial measures of success are commonly called critical success factors or CSF. It is important to know company's financial and non-financial measures in order for the company to create more certainty and confidence in making both short and long-term strategic decisions. So yung financial performance measures includes growth in sales and earnings, cash flows, and stock price. So, these financial performance measures shows the impact of the firm's policies and procedures in the firm's current financial position, and therefore its current return to the shareholder. So dito din natin malalaman if yung company is making a profit or a loss. Na-identify naman agad if yung company has growing revenues, so it means na they have a strong financial performance. Pero kung hindi naman, ayun, kailangan agad nila aksyonan para hindi sila malugi. Next slide. Para naman sa non-financial measures of operation, it includes market share, product quality, customer satisfaction, and growth opportunity. So these non-financial measures naman shows the information on a company's performance in non-monetary terms. Hindi man siya na-express in money terms, but these measures helps company to understand the quality of the product or service that the company offer. And also, it is easy to link these measures to the company's strategy. So the non-financial factors show the firm's current and potential competitive position as measured from the three additional perspective. So yung three additional perspective are the customers, internal business process, and innovation and learning. Next slide. So this figure shows the financial and non-financial measures of success and how to measure CSF. So as I said earlier, yung financial and non-financial measures of success are commonly called na critical success factors or CSF. So yung in-indicate ko dito is yung isang pinaka-best measurement lang ng CSF. So financial measures of success, we have sales. Ang measurement niya is level of sales in critical product groups. So profitability, earnings from operations, sa liquidity, cash flow, and sa market value, share price. Next slide. So dito naman sa non-financial measures of success, and we have customer satisfaction. So yung measurement niya is yung customer returns and complaints. Ayun, dito naman talaga natin nalalaman if yung customer ba is satisfied dun sa product. So dealer and distributor, and coverage and strength of dealer and distributor channel relationships. Tapos sa marketing and selling, ayan yung trend in sales performance. So sa timeliness of delivery, syempre yung on-time delivery performance. So sa quality naman, ayan, katulad lang din nung kanina, yung customer complaints. Next. Ayan, sa internal business process, ayan, same ulit siya, may quality ulit siya. Ang measurement naman niya dito is customer survey. So sa productivity and flexibility, same lang din sila ng measurement, which is the cycle time. Sa equipment readiness naman, yung machine capacity, and yung sa safety, yung number of accidents. Next. Ayan, yung sa learning and innovation naman, ayan, yung product innovation, number of design changes of new patents or copyrights. So sa timeliness of new product, number of days over or under the announced ship date. Sa skill development, yung number of training hours. Sa employee morale, yung employee survey. Tas sa competence, yung rate of turnover, training, experience, and such. Tas yung other factors, which is the government relations, ayan, yung, syempre, yung number of violations. Next po. So in this figure naman, it shows the consequences of lack of strategic information. So without the strategic information, it will eventually pull the company into a critical position. Nandito yung wrong decisions in manufacturing and marketing, wrong choice of product and customers, and such. Ayun, makakasurvive naman yung company without strategic information, but it will never thrive. So, mahalaga talaga sa mga company na may strategic information sila. So, yung mga consequences nga, ito, yan. Decisions making based on intuition. Na dapat, based siya sa mga plans, sa mga informations ng company. Lack of clarity about direction and goals. Ayan, hindi nila alam kung saan sila mag-start, kung ano yung next step nila, and such. Ayan, lack of clear and favorable perception of the firm by customers and suppliers. Yes, incorrect investment decisions, choosing products, markets, or manufacturing process inconsistent with strategic goals. Next, inability to effectively benchmark competitors resulting in lack of knowledge about more effective competitive strategies. And lastly, failure to identify most profitable products, customers, and markets. That's all for my report. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, for competitive strategies, for a firm to sustain a competitive position, it must purposefully or as a result of market forces arrive at one of the two competitive strategies, namely cost leadership or product differentiation. So for a company or a business to secure their spot in the market, they should have a at least a cost leadership or product differentiation strategy that will make them stand out among the competitors. Next slide po. So, cost leadership. It is a competitive strategy in which a firm succeeds in producing products or services at the lowest cost in the industry. A firm that is a cost leader makes sustainable profits at lower prices, thereby limiting the growth of competition in the industry through its success in price wars. So, in business strategy, cost leadership means establishing a competitive advantage by having the lowest cost of operation for producing the products while not sacrificing the quality nito nung mga products na ino-offer nila, and dapat na provide pa rin nila yung satisfactory factor ng dinedemand ng customers para ma-continue nila na ma-attract na bilhin yung mga products nila kasi doon sila kikita. And a business that uses cost leadership strategy, usually tinatangkilik siya ng market kasi they offer quality products sa murang halaga kaya hindi sila nauubusan ng consumers as long as nami-meet naman nila yung satisfaction. Wait. In short, they outperform their customers by producing quality products at the lowest possible cost and prices possible. Product differentiation. The differentiation strategy is implemented by creating a perception among consumers that the product or service is a unique in some important way, usually by being of higher quality, features, or innovation. This perception allows the firm to charge higher prices and outperform the competition in profits without significantly reducing costs. So, yung product differentiation naman, ano siya, design siya to distinguish yung brand or company or mag-stand out yung products nila sa among the competitors by producing high quality products, matibay, unique, new, and has multiple features, innovative, and common. Hindi siya common and fresh yung design that their market will be willing to pay for. Yung strategy na to is applicable for buyers who has needs and preferences that are too diverse to be satisfied by a standardized product or service like what the products that uses cost leadership offers. They establish the idea for their products na since high quality yung binebenta namin, it makes sense if we charge them for a higher price than budget friendly. And also, they usually capture their customers' loyalty to their brand because 'di ba, some buyers are just strongly attracted sa mga high quality products and its unique strategies. For example, yung Apple, since maganda naman talaga yung products nila, trendsetter, innovative, worth it pa rin siya bilhin kahit na mas mahal siya compared sa others mobile phone brands. Next po. So here is a table that will emphasize the distinctive aspects of the two competitive strategies. So first aspect is the strategic market. Cost leadership, broad cross-section of the market, and differentiation, focused section of the market. For the cost leadership strategies, their market is the general public, while for product differentiation, they have their specific target market. For example, sa mga luxury brand, yung market nila is madalas for wealthy people. Second aspect is basis of competitive advantage. Cost leadership, lowest cost in the industry, and product differentiation is unique product or service. Dito, yung mga business that uses cost leadership strategy, yung competitive advantages nila is yung quality ng products nila pero mas mura, and sa product differentiation naman, unique. Kahit mas mahal, unique naman siya. Kaya okay pa rin and worth it pa rin siyang bilhin. Third aspect is product line. For cost leadership, limited selection, and for product differentiation is wide variety and differentiating features. Sa cost leadership, since since the product they sell is mura na nga, if ano yung i-produce or i-offer nila na quality and price sa mga customers, fix na yun. So the consumers can really demand for a much better quality than what the company business offers. But for product differentiation, the customers are entitled to demand for an even better quality product since ito yung binayaran nila. Fourth aspect is production emphasis. Lower possible cost with high quality and essential product features. And for product differentiation, innovation in differentiating products. And for the last and fifth aspect is market emphasis. For cost leadership, low price, and for product differentiation, premium price, and innovative differentiating products. Next slide po. A firm's other strategic issues. A firm succeeds by adopting and effectively implementing one of the strategies explained earlier. Recognize that although one strategy is generally dominant, a firm is most likely to work hard at process improvement throughout the firm, whether cost leader or differentiator, and on occasion to employ both the strategies at the same time. However, a firm following both strategies is likely to succeed only if it achieves one of them significantly. A firm that does not achieve at least one strategy is not likely to be successful. So, regardless of what competitive strategy a business, company, or organization used, whether if it's cost leadership or product differentiation, they can still be leaders of their own markets if they know who their target market is and if as long as they understand yung wants and needs nito. Pero kapag parang hindi clear yung objectives ng company with regarding sa strategies that they will use to attract their customers and they failed to achieve either of the two strategies mentioned, most likely magfe-fail sila kasi masyado ng maraming existing business ang established na or kilala na dito sa mga strategies na 'to kaya mas mahihirapan na sila kompetensya. For example na lang ay a local supermarket tas ang katabi niya 'di ba is Save More or Pure Gold which are mas malalaking groceries and mas kilala na. If wala yung local supermarket, if wala silang strategy, wala na agad silang laban dito sa mga competitors. And the appropriate strategy for them is to go with cost leadership kasi if they sell their products at a lower price, bibilhin siya ng mga customers kasi hindi naman 'di ba lahat afford yung mas mahal na presyo ng mga bilihin like sa Pure Gold. So dito pa lang it's evident here that purpose of the two strategies that with cost leadership is for practicality and hindi ka mauubusan ng customer while sa product differentiation it is the established brand na nung product and yung experience like air condition doon mas comfortable mamili. So both competitive strategies are very useful naman and they both sell. Walang mas maganda, walang mas advantageous or mas pangit na strategy sa kanila if they know how to satisfy their customers with their own strategies, magsasucceed pa rin sila. That's all for my report po. Next reporter, please. Thank you.
And good afternoon po. Now that we have learned about the strategic measures of success and the two competitive strategies, let's move on to the tools that managers commonly use to implement those aforementioned strategies and to facilitate the achievement success and critical success factors. So these are called contemporary cost management techniques. So gaya nga ng sabi kanina, contemporary means existing in the present time. So therefore these are techniques na nag-exist and ginagamit ng businesses nowadays. We're just going to discuss these techniques briefly kasi ma-elaborate naman siya sa succeeding chapters. And for our first technique, we have total quality management. Total quality management is a technique in which management develops policies and practices to ensure that the firm's products and services exceed customers' expectations. So, the aim for total quality management is to eliminate waste and increase efficiency, as well as to establish elevated customer satisfaction. So, nag-a-apply or nag-a-adapt ng TQM approach ang businesses para ma-satisfy yung kanilang customers and to keep their costs low. This is achieved by ensuring all employees are involved in providing continuous delivery of quality services to meet or exceed requirements. So sabi nga dyan, hindi lang siya basta customer satisfaction. Dapat ma-exceed din yung customer's expectation. So yan, total quality management is a formal effort to improve quality throughout an organization's value chain. The two major characteristics of TQM are number one, a focus on serving customers, and number two, systematic problem solving using teams made up of frontline workers. So TQM will be discussed in details sa chapter 6. Yung one of the notable examples ng companies na successfully nakapag-implement ng TQM daw is Toyota. So sabi din sa blog na nabasa ko, Toyota used Kaizen. Kaizen is Japanese philosophy, which means change for the better or continuous improvement. So ginamit daw ng Toyota yung Kaizen methodology in the work environment for more efficient and effective production by creating an atmosphere that improves everyday procedures and employee engagement. And next one is just in time. Just in time production system is the philosophy that activities are undertaken only as needed or demanded. Just in time is a production system also known as pull it through approach, in which the materials are purchased and units are produced only as needed to meet actual customer demand. In a just in time system, inventories are reduced to the minimum and in some cases zero. So based on experience, nung nagpaplano kaming magkaroon ng tricycle, nagpunta kami dun sa paggawaan ng sidecar. Tapos nung araw na yon na nag-place kami ng order, dun din, dun pa lang nagplano or bibilin yung mga gagamiting materials na kailangan. So sa just in time, kung kailan lang needed or demanded yung isang product or service, dun pa lang ipe-prepare yung mga needed materials. So because of that, sabi nga dyan, inventories are reduced to the minimum and in some cases, zero. Yan. So financial benefits of just in time. Number one, lower investment in inventories. Number two, reductions in carrying and handling cost of inventories. Number three, reductions in risk of obsolescence of inventories. Number four, lower investment in plant space for inventories and production. So, obsolescence means the process of being obsolete. Meaning, yung obsolete inventories ay excess or dead inventories which are deemed unusable na for business operations. So since ang inventories ay reduced and in some cases zero nga, hindi mo na need ng carrying and handling costs, hindi mo na kailangan ng storage space for the inventories as well as the finished goods bago pa siya mabenta. And number five, reductions in setup costs and total manufacturing costs. Number six, reduction in cost of waste and spoilage. As a result, improves quality. Number seven, higher revenues as a result of responding faster to customers. Number eight, reductions in paperwork. And since kung kailan mo nga lang siya needed, kung kailan mo lang siya in order, dun lang gagawin. So therefore, wala nang storage. Hindi mo na siya need storage and therefore hindi na magkakaroon ng spoilage ng materials or ng product na ginawa. The third one is process reengineering. Reengineering is a process for creating competitive advantage in which a firm reorganizes its operating and management functions, often with the result that jobs are modified, combined, or eliminated. So in this technique, ino-observe each business processes, tapos ine-evaluate siya and tinitingnan kung alin dun yung pwede nang tanggalin. So yung mga pwede nang tanggalin or omit ay yung mga processes na hindi daw nakakapagdagdag ng value dun sa product or service. The only problem with this process reengineering is that pwedeng mawala sa focus yung mga employees, pwedeng mawala yung machineries, employees na involved dun sa process na tatanggalin if ever. So, dapat daw i-assess muna yung impacts and creative plans for related people, process, and systems. Also, need i-communicate early and often. And sunod dun yung practice continuous improvements. So in its most simplified version, the steps used in process reengineering are: number one, a business process is diagrammed in detail. Number two, every step in the business process must be analyzed and justified. Number three, the process is redesigned to include only those steps that make the product or service more valuable. So since we are going to omit processes nga, this have to be in detail. This has to be analyzed with high level of um, evaluation and thinking bago natin i-omit yung isang process. So, dapat ang magiging result is magkakaroon ng simplified processes only. That number two, yung processes is completed in less time. Number three, costs are reduced. And number four, opportunities for errors are reduced. So once na successfully nagawa yung process reengineering, there will be no room for errors. Or kung meron man, maliit lang. And the fourth one is benchmarking. It is a process by which a firm identifies its critical success factors, studies the best practices of other firms or other units within a firm for these critical success factors, and then implements improvements in the firm's process to match or beat the performance of its competitors. So sabi dun sa na-search ko, dalawa daw yung kinds ng benchmarking, namely internal benchmarking and external benchmarking. So internal benchmarking, you observe other departments and then titingnan mo kung ano yung nakakapag-iba sa kanila. Ano yung pinaka-best na yung best practices na ina-apply nila sa kanilang department, and then you try to adapt. You try to apply it to your own department. As for external benchmarking, ganun din siya, pero ang ina-observe mo naman is yung competitors mo, yung competitor na business. The fifth one would be mass customization. It is a management technique in which marketing and production processes are designed to handle the increased variety that results from delivering customized products and services to customers. The growth of mass customization is, in effect, another indication of the increased attention given to satisfying the customer. And so iba siya dun sa mass production kasi sa mass production, same size, same type of product, while sa mass customization, madamihan yung pagpo-produce pero iba-iba siya ng characteristics, and it is anchored on the customer's preferences. For example, merong pag unofficial photo cards, merong mga nagbebenta ng merches tapos nagdadagdag sila ng freebies. Yung freebies na yun, pwedeng unofficial photo cards. Tapos, umu-order sila sa ibang sellers, and then bumibili sila ng unofficial photo cards na customized. Pwedeng naka-print siya sa vellum board, pwedeng sa specialty paper, pwede namang merong signature sa likuran, or even laminated pa siya. So, yun nga. Pag mass customization, madamihan pa rin yung production, pero iba-iba siya ng characteristics. And it is based on the customer's interest. Let's move on to the next reporter, Mr. Dexter Lilang.
Thank you, Cheyenne, for that on-point explanation. And now let's move on to the balance scorecard. So when we say balance scorecard, it translates an organization's mission and strategy into a set of performance measures that provides the framework for implementing the strategy. So kapag sinabi nating balance scorecard, chine-check niya each category, and the categories are financial performance, customer satisfaction, internal business process, innovation and learning. So dito, kino-compare niya yung bawat isang category, tapos titignan niya kung balance ba. For example, sa financial performance, tumaas yung income mo, pero sa customer satisfaction, mababa ka. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? Merong imbalance na nagaganap sa business. Baka yung financial performance kaya mataas kasi nagtaas kayo ng presyo. Kasi nagtaas yung cost nung direct materials ninyo, kaya nagtaas kayo ng presyo. Pero sa customer satisfaction, ang baba nyo, ang dami nyo nakukuhang negative reactions. So, may imbalance na nagaganap. So, ano kailangan mong gawin? Kailangan mo i-check yun, so gumawa ka ng improvements, di ba? And etong sa balance scorecard, hindi lang financial performance lagi yung titignan natin, but also the non-financial performance, which is the customer satisfaction nga, and yung innovation and learning. So kasi, ang mga modern businesses ngayon, ang motto nila, kapag magandang paningin sa'yo ng tao, ibig sabihin, magiging successful yung business mo. Sa tingin mo ba kapag hindi maganda yung tingin ng business, sa business mo ng mga tao, magiging successful ba siya? Di ba hindi? And next we have, yan, activity-based costing and activity-based management. So, alam ko, naaalala nyo to. Naalala nyo pa ba to guys, sa cost accounting natin? Activity-based costing and activity-based management. So, ito na nga. When we say activity analysis, it is used to develop detailed description of the specific activities performed in the operation of the firm. So, sa activity-based costing natin, hindi ka lang bumabatay sa isa. Halimbawa na lang yung direct labor, direct materials, saka yung manufacturing overhead mo. Okay? So, I will give you a refresher problem for that. Cheyenne, can I present my screen? Balik mo siya. Ayan. So, magbibigyan ako ng refresher problem guys para maintindihan natin and makakapag-catch up tayo kung ano nga ba yung activity-based costing. Okay? Okay. Kita na ba guys? Oh. Oh. Ito na lang, hindi. Che. Ayan, okay na. Ayan, kita nyo na ba guys? Kita na po. Ayan. So, refresher lang para ma-strengthen lalo yung knowledge natin sa cost accounting kasi as future management accountants, kailangan natin itong maintindihan palalo and ma-retain sa utak natin. So, we have activity-based costing and management. Okay, this is the sample problem. Barnacoso Company manufactures 4,000 units of product A and 20,000 units of product B. Yan, each year yan, kada taon. So, the company uses direct labor hours. So, ayan, yung direct labor hours yung ginagamit nila. Yan, to assign overhead costs. Yan yung manufacturing overhead sa products. Yan yung old system na ginagamit nila. So, product X requires 2.5 direct labor hours and product B requires 2 direct labor hours to produce. Wait. Guys, gumagala ba yung screen?
Hindi nagnenet. Nasa first slide pa rin.
Ayan. Okay na. Kita niyo itong Barnacoso Company? Ayan. Okay na.
Wala pa rin. Nasa first slide pa rin.
Wait.
And
Okay
okay
naman.
na.
Ayan, okay. So, ayan, ulit. Barnacosta Company manufactures, ayan na nga yung problem kanina. So, presently, Barnacosta Company uses a plant-wide overhead allocation rate using this method, which is, yan, yung manufacturing overhead, direct labor hour method. So, per direct labor hour, nag-allocate sila ng 18 pesos. So, product A, direct material, meron siyang 36, and kay product B, 30. Direct labor ni product A, 17.50, kay product B naman, 14 pesos lang. So, ito yung sinasabi dito na old system nila. Yung manufacturing overhead nila, ina-allocate nila per direct labor hour. So, per direct labor hour ni product A, which is 2.5 times 18. Yan yung cost per direct labor hour nila. So, 45 and 36 in total. Si product A, merong unit product cost na 98.5. And si product B naman, merong 80. Ayan, tandaan natin yan ha. Yan, meron siyang 80. Next. Ayan, overhead costs are actually caused by the following 5 activities. So, nalaman ng company ni Barnacosa na yung overhead cost pala nila, hindi lang direct labor hours, hindi lang dapat yun. So, meron pang ibang traceable costs na makita, which are the machine setups, quality inspections, production orders, machine hours work, material receipts. Okay? So, machine setups, meron silang 255,000 traceable costs. Sa quality inspection, merong 160,000. Production orders, may 81,000. Machine hours work, 314,000. And material receipts, 90,000 na nag-total ng 900,000. Yan yung overhead cost nila. Okay? The following data have been compiled by the management of Barnacosa. Okay? Ayan. So, si product A, yung total nung yung activity na nagamit nila sa paggawa ng production na yan, sa machine setups, merong 5,000. 3,000 doon nagamit ni A. 2,000 nagamit ni B. Okay? Sa quality inspections, yung 8,000, yung sa 5,000 nun, na kay product A, 3,000 na kay product B. Production orders, 200 kay product A, 400 kay product B, which totals to 600. Machine hours work, ayan, 40,000 machine hours. 12,000 nun kay product A, 28,000 kay product B, and material receipts na 750. Yung 150 nun at yung 160, ayan, kay product A and product B respectively. Next, we have the data can be used to develop overhead rates for each of the 5 activities. Ayan, so, ayan, cost per activity natin. Yung total activity niya, ayan, kung makita niyo, kung babalikan natin sa previous slide, yung 5,000, yun yung total activity ni A and B. Okay? Tapos ito yung total cost. Kung magkano yung total activity na yun, kung magkano yung nagastos. So, ito yung cost per activity. May 51 tayo kay machine setups, 51 pesos per activity. 20 kay quality inspections, kay production orders, 135. Machine hours, 7.85, and cost per activity na 120. May nag-chat.
Di gumagalaw.
Okay. Ayan, okay na. Dito na ako sa part na to. Dito ba na ito?
Okay na.
Ayan. So, again. Oops. Okay, dito. Ayan, okay, again. Yung data can be used to develop overhead rates for each 5 activities. Ayan na nga. So, yung sa machine setups, meron 51 pesos per activity, 20 pesos kay quality inspection. Sa production orders, 135 per activity. Machine hours work, may 7.85, and material receipts, 120 pesos. Next. So, the activity-based overhead rates that were just calculated can be used to assign overhead costs to Barnacosa's 2 products. Okay? So, kay product A, ayan, ganyan kay product A, yung activity, ayan, ito na yung pinuha natin. Di ba yung kay product A, 300 nun, yung 3,000 nung kanya sa machine setup. So, yung times lang natin yan, makakuha natin yung 153,000 na allocation para sa kanya sa machine setups. So, hinati natin kumbaga. Hindi hinati, pero kung ilan yung dapat sa kanya. Yes?
Dex, huwag mo nang i-full screen.
What? Ano?
Huwag mo nang i-full screen.
Okay. Sige. Ayan, okay lang yan. Ayan, sige. Ayan. Okay. Ayan, kay product A. Ayan, okay, nakita natin. Yan, 153,000. So, yung 5,000 na nagamit niya sa quality inspections times 20 natin, which is yung cost noon. So, makakuha tayo ng 100,000. Oh. Tapos yung production orders, 135 times 200, 27,000. And material receipts na may 18,000 siya sa kabuuan. So, yung total overhead na nagamit niya talaga is 392,000. Yan, i-add lang natin yung lahat. So, sabi nga kanina, di ba, 4,000 units yung napoproduce niya kada taon. So, yung 4,000 units na yon, yung 392,200, divide natin sa 4,000. Ang overhead per unit natin ngayon ay 98.5. Okay? Kung kanina yung overhead per unit natin is, ayan, 45 lang. So, ngayon, nakita natin na 98.5 talaga dapat siya. Okay? So, ang laki nung ang laki nung discrepancy, ang laki nung gap nung nila. So, kay product B, ayan. So, ayan, alam niyo na siguro to. I-times lang ulit natin yung natitirang transactions. Okay, makakuha tayo ng total overhead na 507,800. Divide natin dun sa total units produced niya. Okay, so makakuha tayo ng total overhead per unit na 25.39. So, compare natin ulit dito sa sa product B. Ayan, 36 lang. So, diba? Malaki rin yung gap. No, mas malaki pala ngayon, no? Mas malaki dito kaysa dito. Ibig sabihin, mas malaki pala talaga yung nagagamit ni product A. Ayan, okay? Ayan, compare na natin sila ngayon. So, yung sa old system natin na ginagamit, yung manufacturing overhead na ginagamit natin, compare dito sa activity-based costing. Diba? Yung sa old system natin, ayan, 98.5 yung total kay product A, kay product B naman 80. Okay? Ayan, so ito, tinanggal natin tong part na to, yung manufacturing overhead, yan 2.5. Tinanggal natin yan kasi gumamit na siya ng ibang system, which is yung activity-based costing nga. So, ayan na, manufacturing overhead cost using the activity-based costing system. O yan, i-replace na natin siya ng 98.5 and ng 25.39. So, meron total na product cost na tayo ngayon na 151.55 and 69.39 kay product B. So, ayan, dyan pumapasok yung activity-based management, di ba? Diyan pumapasok yon. Kasi kapag nalaman na natin yung pagkakaiba, alam na natin ngayon kung saan tayo nagkulang. Alam natin kung bakit tumataas yung expenses natin na dapat hindi pala dapat sa expenses kundi dapat ilalagay natin sa product, okay? So, yun yung para sa activity-based costing and management. I hope it's clear to you now. Guys, na-refresh ba? Shay, you may now continue the presentation. Konti na lang guys, konti na lang, matatapos na po. Okay? So, ayun, yung activity-based costing na nga and activity-based management. Next. Ayan, theory of constraints. Okay? Theory of constraints emphasizes the importance of managing the organization's constraints or barriers that hinder or impede progress toward an objective. So dito sa theory of constraints, hindi lang tayo tumitingin sa results, hindi lang sa financial performance, sa non-financial performance. Ito, tinitingnan natin kung saan may pagkukulang yung company, yung business mo. And kapag na-identify mo na yung pagkukulang, ano yung kailangan mong gawin? Di ba? Is to fill that gap. Kailangan mong gawa ng paraan yon, ano yung magagawin mo. So, ayun yung sinasabi dito sa basic sequential steps. Sa theory of constraints, we have analyze all the factors of production required in production chain. Identify the weakest link. Ayan, saan ka pinakamahina? Diba? Yan, diba? Sa SWOT analysis, ginagawa rin natin yan. Focus improvement efforts on strengthening the weakest links. Okay? If improvement efforts are successful, eventually the weakest link will improve to the point where it is no longer the weakest link. Diba? Kapag na-evaluate mo na yun, kapag nagawa mo ng paraan, syempre, ang kailangan ma-achieve mo, hindi na siya mahina ulit. Okay? So, At that point, kailangan mo na mag-identify ulit ng mahinang link, ng bagong constraint, di ba? And kailangan mo na ulit gawin yung tree of constraints na yon. Parang pabalik-balik na siya na process until ma-achieve mo yung success. Next please. Ayan, life cycle costing. And by the way guys, yung balance scorecard pala, madidiscuss din siya sa next chapters ng book. Okay? And next we have life cycle costing. It is a management technique to identify and monitor the cost of a product throughout its life. Okay, itong life cycle costing, madidiscuss din siya sa chapter 7. But now, bibigyan ko lang kayo ng pahapyaw. Okay? So, dito sa life cycle costing, tinatakal na yung product from the introduction of the product, production, until it's phased out, di ba? So, meron siya, para rin siya sa value chain, okay? May research and development, product and design, including prototyping, target costing, and testing. So, these are the upstream activities. Ayan, yung upstream activities yung mga yan. Kasi dyan nagsisimula yung pag-develop mo ng product. And next, we have the manufacturing. Inspecting, packaging, and warehousing. So, dito pumapasok yung production mo. Okay? So, ito, hindi siya kasama sa upstream activities kasi ito yung actual production. And next, we have the marketing, promotion, distribution, and sales and service. So, pag sinabi natin marketing, alam niyo naman yan, advertising, and sales and service. Okay? Ito yung mga downstream activities kung saan dinidistribute mo na yung products. Kailangan mo na siyang isold. Okay? Next. Okay, let's move forward. Ayan, target costing. Ayan. So, target costing involves the determination of the desired cost for a product or the basis of a given competitive price so that the product will earn a desired profit. So, nung sa cost accounting natin, di ba, meron tayong cost volume profit analysis relationship, di ba? So, dun sa cost volume profit relationship, tinitignan natin kung ano ba yung dapat nating sales para ma-achieve yung desired profit natin. So, yun, hinahanap natin yung sales na necessary to generate that desired net income. So, dito sa target costing, anong hinahanap natin? Yung target cost, okay? So, kailangan mo natin i-determine yung market price niya and ano yung desired profit natin. So, saka natin malalaman yung target cost, okay? So, sa target cost, hindi pa dyan kasama yung markup, no? So, mas malidikas pa yan din sa higher accounting natin. And next, we have the computer-aided design and manufacturing, okay? CAD is the use of computers in product development, analysis, and design modification to improve the quality and performance of the product, okay? So, ito sa computer-aided, kailangan natin mga program, software, so kailangan ng help ng mga IT, ayan. Ayan, kailangan natin kasi, di ba, kailangan sa production mag-modernize tayo. Kailangan natin gamitin yung mga modern technologies to manufacture and develop that specific product that we want, that we know that is needed by the market. Okay? So next is CAM, which stands for Computer-Aided Manufacturing. Okay? It is the use of computer to plan, implement, and control production. So dito naman sinusuportahan niya yung computer-aided design. So siya yung nagma-manufacture, nagma-produce ng products na ginawa ng design. Okay? Siya rin yung nag-control doon sa production ng particular product na yon na ginawa ng CAD. And letter M, we have letter I, letter L. Automation, ayan. Automation ito, madabilis lang to. Okay, sa flexible manufacturing system sa FMS, kailangan mo lang na-oversee mo dahil automated na nga. If merong mga variations, kailangan madali ka mag-adjust. Madali mag-adjust yung manufacturing system mo, yung mga machines mo. Kasi kapag hindi madali mag-adjust yung machine mo, hindi siya flexible, kailangan mo na naman ulit ng bago. Halimbawa, kailangan lang sa product mo ng konting adjustment, kailangan baguhin yung kulay ng packaging. So kapag hindi kaya ng machine mo yon, edi bibili ka na naman ulit ng bago. So kailangan mo gumamit ng flexible na manufacturing system. Okay? So sa computer integrated manufacturing naman, ayan, is a manufacturing system that integrates all office and factory functions within a company via computer-based information network to allow hour-by-hour manufacturing arrangement. Okay? Alam naman na natin to, di ba? Kapag mayroong needs ng adjustment ulit, kapag may malfunction, kailangan ng computer kasi siya yung magde-detect nun. So kapag meron tayong ganito, pwede siya mag-alarm. Tapos mabilis na hihinto yung mga process dahil nga na-detect na mayroong malfunction doon sa particular production natin, di ba? Kapag computer-aided na, mabilis tayo makakapaggawa ng solusyon kasi alam ng computer yung problema na dapat gawin. Yan nga yung sinasabi sa troubleshooting, ganyan. Kailangan automated na lahat. Okay? So let's move on to letter M. Yan, e-commerce. Ayan, parang na-discuss na rin to kanina sa chapter 3, di ba? Ito yung the use of internet in conducting the business. Alam naman natin to lahat, di ba? Shopee, Lazada, and the likes, okay? And for the last one, we have, I'm sorry, the value chain, ayan. It is an analysis tool that firms use to identify the specific steps required to provide a product or service to customers. The key idea of this concept is that the firm studies each step in its operation. Ayan, each step, di ba? Step-by-step process na naman to. Parang sa life cycle din, nag-uumpisa tayo dun sa research and development, di ba? Ayan, analyzing the firm's value chain helps management to discover A, which steps or activities are not competitive, B, where costs can be reduced, C, which activities should be outsourced, and D, how to increase the value of customer at one or more steps of the value chain. Ayan na, parang sa life cycle kanina at saka yung sa doon sa discuss natin sa balance scorecard. Ayan, parang yung value chain gagamitin niya lahat yan eh. Kasi nga, pati sa theory of constraint, kasi hinahanap niya kung saan may butas, kung saan tayo nanghihina. Tapos, kailangan niya mag-add ng value pa doon para mas papaganda yung business and para mas satisfied din yung customers. So, we have an example for that. We have an illustrative case. Shay? This will be the last one. Ayan, illustrative case 4.1, Jack Reyes, a consultant for the Red Archer basketball team, ayan, consultant siya, has been asked to complete a value chain of the franchise with a particular focus on comparison with a nearby competing team, the Roaring Lions, okay? Jack has been able to collect selected cost data, as shown below for each of the 6 steps in the value chain. Single ticket prices range to 45 to 80. Ayan, average paying attendance is approximately 2,200 for the Red Archers and 5,000 for Rolling Lions. Ayan. Okay, let's move forward, Shay. So, ito na nga yung na-collect na data ni, sino yan? Si Jack, di ba? Ito yung na-collect na data niya. Tama ba si Jack? Yes, si Jack Reyes. Ayan, average cost per person sa advertising and general promotion. Si Red Archer, 0.45 lang yung ginagastos siya per person. Si Roaring Lions, 0.50. Ayan, ticket sales, 0.25 per Roaring Lions, mas maliit kaysa kay Red Archer. Kasi Red Archer may 0.28. Ballpark operations, 0.80 kay Roaring Lions, 0.65 kay Red Archer, and management management compensation, 0.18 kay Roaring Lions, and 0.23 kay Red Archer. Kung mapapansin natin, mas malaki yung binabayad ni Red Archer sa management compensation kaysa kay Roaring Lions, guys. And player salaries, ayan, mas malaki naman yung binabayad ni Roaring Lions kaysa kay Red Archer. Yung ginagastos naman ni Roaring Lions dito sa game day operations, special entertainment, and game day promotions, 0.85, samantalang kay Red Archer 20 lang. So makita natin na parang triple pa yung tinaas ni Roaring Lions, di ba? So yung cost na yon nag-total kay Red Archer ng 2.76 pesos and kay Roaring Lions na 3.43. So ano yung analysis natin dito? Shay? Next slide, please. Ayan. Ito na yung required. Ano nga ba analysis natin? Next, please. Ayan, kung mapapansin natin, parang similar nga lang sila ng dalawa nung ginagastos. Parang ang konti lang ng discrepancy sa bawat isa. Pero yung difference nung kay Lion, ang laki ng ginagastos ni Roaring Lions sa game day operations, triple nga nung kay Red Archers. Kaya yung bawat pupasok sa kanila na sa ticket prices, ayan, 285,000 yung kay Archers, samantala yung kay kay Lions to yung 285,000, samantalang kay Archers 123,500 lang. So parang doble pa, 'di ba? Yung pupasok na sales dun sa kay Roaring Lions, okay? It happens that the Lions have found an effective way to compete by drawing attendance sa special game day events and production. Yun nga, kasi nga triple yung ginagastos ni Roaring Lions kasi nga meron pa siyang special game day events at mga promotions pa siya. Kaya triple rin yung ginagastos niya doon sa game day events. Samantalang kay Red Archers, 0.20 lang. Diba? Parang sobrang baba, kaya doon sila natalo. Next. Okay? To begin to compete more effectively and profitability, Archers might consider additional value-added services. Ayan na sa value chain. Nag-a-add tayo ng value dun sa mga step na nakita natin na may pagkukulang, okay? Kapag kulang doon sa game day operation sila, doon na tayo magdagdag kasi baka doon tayo talaga mas kumita ng mas malaki. Next. Okay, I think this will be the last explanation. And on the cost side, the comparison with Lions shows little immediate promise for cost reduction, di ba? Mas konti lang yung ginagastos ni Lions doon sa binabayad niya sa management niya, tapos sa iba pang operations like doon sa ticket sales, ang konti lang ng ginagastos niya doon. Next, we have, ayan, Archer should spend more on fund development. The next step in Jack's analysis might be survey of Archer's funds to determine the level of satisfaction and to identify desired services that are not currently provided. Yun na nga, kaya nga ginagamit natin yung value chain, di ba? Para mahanap natin yung weaknesses natin. Yan, si Jack bilang isang consultant, kailangan niya hanapin kung saan nagkukulang si Red Archers doon sa competition, di ba? Kaya by that, sa value chain, ma-analyze natin kung ano ba yung best way para mas kumita pa tayo. Okay? I think that's all, guys. Thank you very much for extending the time. Thank you po. Sorry din. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you so much group of Dexter Lilang. I appreciate na may additional tayong illustration to further explain our concept. Na may apology, no? Inabot na tayo ng 20 minutes past our time, no? Extended tayo by 20 minutes. I hope may maintindihan, no, na marami tayong panahon na hindi tayo nagkita. Yung next meeting natin Thursday, please dedicate that with the chapter 5 for that particular group only. Medyo mahaba to at medyo complicated and will take time to really appreciate yung every step. Procedural kasi to eh. Paano ma-achieve yung mga component ng master budget, no? Kaya gusto ko medyo isa lang tayong group sa Thursday. Apology, no? Sinamantala lang natin para medyo maka-fast track tayo. Hindi na ako mag-explain ng ibang mga details. Sa next meeting na lang, para balikan lang natin yung ibang mga concept by next meeting. For this, by this time, may I request everyone to please open your camera for the documentation of our online class today. Okay? Kung may mga question kayo dun sa mga naunang topics, no, very interesting tong topics na to, and ordinarily itong mga topics na to are also included doon sa MBA program. May subject tayo managerial accounting sa MBA, kasama itong mga topic na dinidiscuss nyo doon sa discussion namin sa master. Okay? Thank you so much, two groups. Bawi na lang tayo next meeting doon sa mga discussion at kung may mga queries, doon na lang natin i-raise. No? So, huling hirit na naman to, wala na naman kayong klase. O, smile sa camera. Alam ko napagod kayo doon sa ating almost 2 hours na klase. Smile na lang po. In 3, 2, 1. Okay lang po Okay, yan na lang po. Maraming salamat. Keep safe everyone. I'll see you on Thursday for our next online class. Ingat po ang lahat.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you po, sir.
Miss Magpang, you are raising your hand. Okay na ba? Okay, sige.
Sir,
Yeah.
kukuha po ba ng libro ko bukas? Okay lang po ba?
Okay naman tayo everyday. Just visit the office. May instruction
Sige
na
po.
naman sa ating college secretary.
Thank you po.
Ingat po ang lahat.